Sa mga kapakdot dyan, good evening sa inyo. Ngayon magluto tayo ng manok na parang humba nga manok. Magluluto tayo, challenge ba. Masarap ito. Ngayon sugdan na natin ang torno sa pagluto sa manok. Bye mga kapagdot. Proceed tayo sa kitchen po. Ngayon practice sa tagluto ani kay puhon nga kita na taga sawa ba na natay kabuga ba. Kung kakita tanaw lang muna ko sa akong pagluto base nuroy nga naamoy makita nga di mao, comment lang kayo sa akin ha.
Served well done for Trump and rare for Kennedy.
She was a very good doctor.
So this was the dinner before the
Luto
summit.
tayo ng manok.
Kim Jong-un looks very comfortable and confident. I mean, he must have put on a bit of a show.
Very nice place to go, very good.
President Trump really a story that Kim Jong-un told about how
I tried to.
he executed his uncle and then displayed his head for the rest to see.
Manok
In this day
na
and age, to see that kind of
My boss,
brutality,
when I was working,
very much like the heads of those beheaded by Henry VIII were stuck outside the Tower of London.
my boss.
I think it goes to show that
Danny guy.
Kim Jong-un, deep inside, wanted to reach out to Donald Trump in a way that no other leader has reached out to Donald Trump, which is, you know what, Mr. President? Let's talk about raw power. I will tell you what raw power is. I will give you an example of what I did to my uncle. Donald Trump respects raw power. That's what Kim Jong-un wanted to emphasize.
There are a lot of great ideas being thrown about. Very importantly, the relationship is very strong.
Uy
The dinner table talk, how do the two leaders get down to this?
And will say there is considerable pressure on both Trump and Kim Jong-un to come up with a more substantive deal than the one they struck in Singapore. Kim desperately needs sanctions to be lifted. Trump's got to come back with something more substantive than they got in June.
And North Koreans estimated that President Trump needed a foreign policy victory and that they would sign a deal. Kim Jong-un thought it was a sure thing. So they got down to the nitty-gritty of this nuclear deal, but it can quickly go sour.
In his opening gambit, Kim offers the deal to shut down North Korea's largest nuclear testing site in return for the complete lifting of all sanctions.
Trump was not prepared to make a partial deal. He was prepared to make only the big deal, which is the complete elimination of North Korea's nuclear weapons program. But Kim kept pressing for his more limited deal. Like many communist negotiators, he's very good at saying the same thing over and over again. The Germans have a word for it. They call it Sitzfleisch, and it means exactly what it sounds like, that he'd just be prepared to sit there for as long as it took. Kim went around and around. We could see the frustration that Kim felt that he wasn't getting through. So there came a point where kind of silence descended on the room and lasted, and it was at that point I think everybody realized this meeting is really over.
Astonishing. The second summit between the U.S. and North Korea is over.
The headline here, no deal.
The two leaders motorcade rode away from the summit site within minutes of each other.
Sometimes you have to walk.
They literally left a lunch on the table in Hanoi and went off back to their respective capitals. So I think it was a miscalculation.
4 minutes. Tagal ba to?
Kim Jong was very, very sure he could reach a deal in Hanoi. So on the long train ride back to North Korea, Kim Jong-un must have asked himself, who am I going to blame for this failure? Who will be the person who will fall by the sword?
Kim Jong-un was very angry. He lost face in that he didn't have a deal. He left empty-handed, and that has increased the pressure on Kim Jong-un since.
Like Trump's failure to reach a deal with Trump is a major setback in his bid to normalize his regime. At least 3 of his officials are thought to have been executed or purged as punishment. Kim was returning to the system of terror that has sustained the Americans for 3 generations.
Oh, I need one way, I need that. What? Oh, of course. Well,
In North Korea, the border is not just solid,
we need to get defense.
it's highly impenetrable. Except for the joint security area where there is no fence. A North Korean soldier called Old Chung Sung, the top soldier in the Korean People's Army, stationed right along the 38th parallel. Only the creme de la creme are posted along the border. But he dashed across the line, running for his life. He was shot at by North Korean guards.
Takada luto niya.
As the North Korean soldier lies wounded in the demilitarized zone, which separates North and South Korea, troops stage a rescue attempt.
South Korea.
Oh, it's demilitarized zone.
Yeah, it's like,
They're demilitarized zone, and we in the military are supposed to be allowed to go in there.
what is that?
Guys, going to press state, probably South Korea.
He was miraculously taken. He was then taken by helicopter to a Korean hospital. It was discovered that there even the most trusted lieutenants were ready to jump ship. I think Kim Jong-un would have been very angry that the generals were allowed this to happen under their watch. And I'm sure they were reprimanded and imprisoned or even, an even worse punishment for this.
Just potato.
To crack down on the rising tide of defectors, Kim has increased border security and threatened would-be traitors with severe punishments. But the dictator remains torn between his allegiance to the family dynasty and the pull of his teenage years in the democratic West.
Taas na rin medyo.
Shortly after he took power, he tracked down an old friend in Europe.
Plötzlich waren Leute von ihm bei mir im Restaurant.
Kasi napagmana rin, magtaas na rin medyo na.
Von ihm da. Every morning,
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be down.
hopping across the
This is whiteboard. So
every
whiteboard.
day things seem to get worse. Religious conflict,
Luto, tagbalik.
climate change. It all seems so apocalyptic. None of this is new, however. We've been predicting the end of the world for thousands of years. From Nostradamus all the way back to the book of Revelation. Something about the drama of annihilation seems to grip us. Is it just human nature to worry and wonder about the end of days? Or is it really coming? I'm setting off on a journey to find out why so many religions predict an apocalypse.
This piece has a human name. Its number is 666.
To discover the roots of judgment day
The sons of light shall battle the sons of darkness.
and how ancient prophecies
There's no peace between us and our neighbors.
reverberate today.
He's going to the king's power. It will be hell on earth.
Whether the end is really what we imagine, or what it all is just in our minds. My first destination is Switzerland. The spiritual center for Jews, Christians, and Muslims. All three of those faiths predict Jerusalem will rose in the end of the world. There has long been a black part of religious kingdom. I've come here to meet Joram Happiness, an expert in the politics and theology of Judaism. I want to know why the end of days is so closely tied to this city.
You're looking at the absolute epicenter of the monotheistic world. Right over there, that's the Dome of the Rock, which according to Islamic tradition, Muhammad ascended to heaven from right that spot. And over there, the Mount of Olives and Gethsemane below, where Jesus and his disciples used to meet. And of course, down here is the Western Wall Plaza, the holiest shrine, prayer location of all of the Jewish people in Judaism. This whole area is called the Temple Mount. This is the Temple Mount. The temple was a building 7 stories high, stood on top of this Temple Mount, on top of that flat area where those trees are.
In the Middle East, King Herod the Great built a temple where Jews could worship their God. It was designed to last forever.
Herod said, "We're going to create the most spectacular physical structure in the entire Middle East, maybe the entire world." You can see these gigantic stones, there's a lot of those called Arabian stones. The Jewish temple for the one God stood on Mr. Drew's not ready. The other is Mr. Marvel's not ready. The state of Israel militarily politically controls the whole area. The state of Israel is the Temple Mount area on the top of the mountain.
While the top of the mountain is off limits to Jewish religious rights, there are sacred places under it, which Jerome says will help me understand the Jewish vision for end time.
This is it. It comes to the closest that human being can come to the Holy of Holies, the most sacred spot in the world. That's the room in the temple that one human being would enter once a year, the high priest, on Yom Kippur, on the holiest day of the year, he would say God's name.
Orthodox Jews believe that without this temple, their religious rites are incomplete. So they await the day when their temple is rebuilt. Is there a Messiah
In Judaism,
in Judaism?
Jews invented the Messiah. But it's not the same Messiah that most people think about. Okay? Because when Christians think of Messiah, they think of someone who's divine. They think of, the end of days. What we have for the Messiah is a man, king of this earth, who's going to bring peace among the nations in this world.
He will not be divine.
He will not be divine.
And Jerome tells me this moral Messiah has a very specific
Emphasis, Jake.
According to Jewish traditions, three things he's supposed to do. Number one, he's going to bring peace to the Jewish kingdom, the Jewish state. Number two, he's going to bring peace with the neighbors. Number three, he's going to rebuild that temple.
Here we are. This is 2015. What are you going to do now? What is contemporary Jewish position of the temple?
The Jews think of the world in terms of this dream that once existed in the world was taken away. Jews want to bring back into the world.
That is the reconstruction of the temple.
The reconstruction of the temple has the crowning symbol of this era of justice and peace that we're supposed to be assisting to bring back into the world.
Judaism is just one of many religions that envisions becoming a world of peace one day. But looking at this place, where so many religions intersect, it's hard to imagine peace coming. Rebuilding the temple now would almost certainly not herald an age of peace. It would obliterate some of the holiest sites in the temple. In fact, it might even trigger an apocalyptic battle. But the idea of a violent end of the world is not none. You are talking about the apocalypse 2,000 years ago. Not all things that anticipated economies of peace. One is that
thanks to the incredibly dry climate here, their apocalyptic writings have been preserved for more than 2,000 years.
Look at what we see below us.
Cow.
This cave is very important. Approximately 700 different skulls were found in this cave, including fragments of the war skull.
What is that?
That's the skull that describes a 40-year-long apocalyptic war. And one of the famous lines from this skull says, "There shall be a war of terrible carnage. The sons of light shall battle the sons of darkness, and it shall end in eternal redemption."
This war that they're talking about, is that like a total revolution?